Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. If you have been struggling with your dark samples recently, then this video right here is definitely going to help you guys out. So I'm pretty much going to show you guys how you can make some amazing sounding dark samples in a pretty simple way. But don't get me wrong, because I'm going to show you guys some super nice tricks you can use that's pretty much going to change your whole sound. But they're actually very easy to do and they have a huge impact on the sample. So there's pretty much going to be something for even advanced loop makers and beginners as well. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to see all the tips and tricks, as well as hearing the full sample at the end. So let's go. So to start off with, I'm gonna bump the BPM up to about 145. We're gonna go for a bit of a faster vibe on this one. Then I'm actually gonna start off with using Omnisphere. I actually haven't used this in a super long time, but if you guys are actually struggling to find nice sounding sounds, there's actually a super cool trick you can do right here. If you just go on this patch browser right here, it actually opens up this whole section right here. So if you didn't know about this, you actually have way more sounds than you actually thought. So I'm just gonna go into keyboards right here, go for something ambient, and then I'm gonna go for this piano right here. And the key for this one is going to be G minor. So when it comes to dark samples, pretty much the main focus for the pattern is actually to have something that's pretty repetitive, but that just changes slightly between the bars. So to give an example of that, we can pretty much start with a G minor chord like this. Now just invert this middle note right here, shorten it a bit and put a note right here. Then we can go for a note right here and maybe here. Now just copy this over and we should have a pretty repetitive pattern. Now, since we don't want to make it too repetitive, we're just going to do some slight changes on this part right here. So I'm actually going to add a note right here, and then I'm actually also going to add a small note on the end right here. So that's pretty much the trick for the pattern. But the reason why this sounds pretty dark is actually because I'm focusing on notes that have these half steps right here. So you can see pretty much every single note I'm using except from the root note is actually a note that's right beside another one in the scale. So that actually means if you're mainly using notes that have half steps right here like these ones, your melody is pretty much going to sound dark. So that's pretty much the two main things you guys need to focus on when you're making dark patterns. So now I'm pretty much just going to copy this over and randomize a little bit of the velocity, and then I'm just going to pitch it down by 1 octave. Now, as you can see, it's a super basic and simple pattern, but it still has a nice catchy feeling to it. Although it can definitely get way better. So it's pretty much time to add some effects to the pattern we just made, because the effects are pretty much the main thing that's going to change up the whole sound. So I'm quickly just going to do some EQ first. Just add some Rome as well. About 23%. Some RC22, just to give it some vinyl texture. Now lastly, I'm just going to add this portal right here, and this is pretty much one of the main effects that's going to change up the whole sound. This effect right here actually works perfectly for dark stuff. Since it doesn't need to sound so natural, you can have all these glitches and weird effect for the dark samples. If you're making piano or guitar samples, it kind of needs to sound a bit more natural, so this plugin right here doesn't really fit for that. But for this dark and glitchy stuff, it works perfectly. So I'm pretty much going to go to this Trails bank right here and just use this streak preset, then put it to about 25%, and now it sounds like this. So I actually love how this effect sounds. I'm just going to turn the pitch to about 75%. And then I also don't want the effect to be playing all the time. So I'm actually going to go to the mixer right here and turn it completely off. Then I'm just going to right click and create automation clip right here. Now I'm pretty much going to make it turn on this part only and make it fade out a bit. Now I'm just going to cut this and copy it over for the whole pattern. See how it sounds now. Fade it out a bit. This is actually a very nice trick you guys can do if you just want the effect on some parts of the sample. So I'm just going to highlight this and render it out first. So now we pretty much have it as a wave file right here. Now I'm just going to play around with the pitch it up about 3 semitones. This sounds nice. And now we can add even more effects to this wave file we have now. So to make it a bit darker, I'm going to use halftime. And a super cool trick for dark stuff on this halftime right here is actually to turn this effects knob right here all the way to the left. It's actually going to give you this pulsing type of effect, almost like a kickstart. See if we can find another preset in Portal, maybe this one right here. Now I don't really like how the halftime makes them cut right here. So I actually think in FL21, which is actually out now I think, they actually have a nice fading feature when you're cutting stuff up. But since I'm so reluctant to update, I actually haven't done it yet. So the way I'm going to fix this is just by cut each part like this. Then I'm just going to double click on a sample and hit generic right here. And then I'm just going to fade it in like this. Let's see how it sounds now. Yeah, the cut is way smoother. So now let's try to layer this melody with a different sound. So I'm just going to open up this patchwork preset in Arcade and just turn this echo down a bit. Oof. Yeah, this is fire. So that layer right there fits perfectly with the first melody we made. So now I'm pretty much going to do a trick I almost do on every single dark sample I make. And it's this super nice reverse one-shot trick. If you guys actually don't know what I'm talking about, then you can actually just find a one-shot like this. I usually use guitars because I think they sound the best, but you can definitely experiment with different one-shots. But I'm actually just going to use this one. Then you want to turn off loop points. You want to click reverse right here. Go to the wrench tool and hit cut self. Then lastly, just make a square envelope like this. Now you pretty much just want to follow the root notes of the sample. And since we started in G, but we pitched it up by 3, it's actually going to be this A sharp right here. So I just cut it up in parts like this, and you can hear how it sounds. So you can pretty much hear this reverse sound that hits in the middle of the sample. I just want to add some reverb and some EQ to that one. So it's pretty much super subtle, but it definitely adds a huge difference when it's there and when it's not. It's pretty much small stuff like this that's going to make the whole sample sound a bit more complete. So now we definitely want a sound for the B section of the sample. So for this, I'm again just going to open up Arcade and pretty much use this preset right here. A super cool trick with Arcade is actually to play around with these sharp notes right here, because they can actually give a nice effect to the sample you're playing right here. So we can try this. Make it sound a bit glitchy. Now I'm just gonna add this texture right here. Turn the sound a bit down. Put this radio EQ on it. And just pan it from left to right. We kind of want to have it in the background. Now I'm just going to structure this out and we can play around with the pitch again. Now I think I'm just going to pitch it down by 5. So this is pretty much how the whole sample turned out. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really hope you guys learned something new and enjoy this one. Make sure if you guys need free sample packs, drum kits, and so on, just go to my website. It's BBMarko.com. The first link down below. Besides that, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.